So today is Hibiscus IPA Brew Day. We're going to use hibiscus flowers to add both color and flavor to an IPA. And the motivation for this was this beer by Tröegs Brewery. This is the motivation for this. My wife had sampled the Crimson Pistol IPA from Tröegs and came back and said, "Honey, you need to brew this." I subscribe to the philosophy of happy wife, happy life. So today we're brewing and trying to get close to the Tröegs Brewery Crimson Pistol IPA. When you go to the Tröegs website, they give you all the information that you need to begin your recipe formulation. They tell you what the ABV is, they tell you what your IBUs are, they give you the malts, Pilsner and Vienna, they give you the hops, right? And of course, they give you a yeast, which they say is their house ale, so we've got to do what we can for that. But this is a great opportunity to get really close. Now, why would you use Pilsner and Vienna malts? It's going to make a very, very light colored beer, but that's what you want because you're adding hibiscus flowers to get this red color. And so you want a very light colored beer so that the hibiscus flowers and the coloration of the hibiscus can come through. So just some basics about today's brew day. Number one, I've only been home brewing for a year, so I don't claim to know everything. Number two, I've never brewed this before. This is a completely experimental beer, so I don't know exactly how things are going to turn out. I don't know if it's going to be red enough. I don't know how everything is going to work, but I have all the wisdom of the internet to be able to help me out. So just to make sure that we're clear, I don't ever claim to be an expert at brewing. I just have been able to make some tasty beers over the last year, and I think you might enjoy watching this one. All right, let's go. So normally I use Brew 365 for my brewing water calculator to determine my strike water volume, strike water temperature, all that, and then my sparge water and my boil volume. But today I put the entire recipe on Beersmith, and so I'm comparing the two, and the two seem to be really, really close. So that's comforting to know that the calculations that Beersmith uses are similar to the calculations at 365 and back and forth. The strike water has been measured. We need 4.6, 4.7-ish gallons. You can always go a little over on strike water, not a big deal. But now we got to heat it up. And here, as opposed to trying to heft around 32 pounds worth of hot water, I put 2 pots on the stove, and then we heat the strike water up on the stove in those 2 pots. Makes it a little bit easier to heft into our mash tun. Let's take a look at the mash tun real quick. Look down inside, there's our braided stainless steel hose that we use as our filter, and that is the basic construction of our mash tun. So here we go. Of course, before you mash in, always make sure you've got your valve in the closed position. Too bad this isn't smell-o-vision, because these hops smell amazing. All right, let's get these things measured so that we can get ready for our first wort hop. And we can go over a little bit because we're using hops bags. And the hops utilization isn't necessarily as high with using a hops bag. Now it's time for the first wort hop edition of our nugget hops. Spent grains to the compost heap. The beauty of brewing in the summer over the winter is that I can actually come outside and do some of this cleaning. I've always wanted a home brewing intern so that they could do all this work. Oh well. So we watch a lot of Food Network TV at our house, and one of the things you hear over and over and over again is the term mise en place, which is, I like to think of it as have your mess in one place. Okay, have all of your cooking stuff laid out exactly where you need it. Well, in this case, what we have is we have all of our timed additions. So we've got a little bit of, we've got our Irish moss at 15 minutes. We have our hibiscus flowers at 10 minutes. And then we have our aroma hops edition at 5, right? And so that's our mise en place for this boil, okay, for this brew day. All right, now we have these wonderfully vacuum sealed pouches for the hops, and I want to be able to keep these hops as fresh as possible for as long as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pouches and I'm going to run them through our vacuum sealer in order to keep them as fresh as I can for as long as I can. So we're going to add the hibiscus flowers now with 10 minutes left in the boil. This is just basically a color addition. We'll get the hibiscus flavor when we dry hop with it. But the thing to pay attention to is the dramatic color change that's going to happen in the next 10 minutes. Just a real interesting fact about our wort chiller and a system that we use to cool our wort, like anybody else, we've got a spigot on the side of the house, but it runs through this hose and goes into this pre-chiller. When the summertime hits, I want to have a pre-chiller so I can have this sitting in some ice water to help cool the water even faster. And then it comes through, goes into the wort chiller, comes back, and then I have it going down into our drain. Why is that? Because we live on a cistern, and all of our water is collected off of the roof. So the rain that hits the roof and the snow that hits the roof that melts comes down through the gutter system. It goes into a 6,000 gallon underwater tank under our house. And that's where we get our water from. And when I use the wort chiller, then I just cycle the water through the system into the wort chiller and back. So I'm basically 100% efficient in my use of water for chilling my wort. So the brew day is over, and I don't have a temperature controlled environment to ferment or anything like that. I don't have a keezer, I don't have any of those other things, and it's going to be in the 90s this week, and we don't typically run air conditioning in our house. So what do? Well, I have a crawl space. There you go. There's our bucket, just waiting to take off. So, lessons learned. I overestimated my boil off rate, so I ended up missing my final gravity by a couple points, which is going to give me a beer that is like 5.8% alcohol, not 6.2, which is what the original is. So we know how to make some adjustments to Beersmith and get a better adjustment out of that. Also, we didn't quite get the color we were looking for. Now, something we can wait for is the second edition of Hibiscus during the dry hop phase to see if that works out. Right? So, without further ado, have a great day, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave me some comments.